Evening, guys. Rich Perspectives podcast, and we are back again. And I know I said the last topic was one of my favorites. Three S's: submit, subject, shut up. I remember. I know what I told you, but I think this one is a little more of a favorite than that one. I love this one, and when I talk about this one, well, whenever I go to the high schools, primarily, I always bring this one up. I talk about this a lot with the teenagers. Excuse me, with the teenagers. But this one is called Circle of Friends. Circle of Friends. And I chose this one. You know, we always start with the intro and the why. The intro and the why. The reason why I chose this one, uh, I feel like accountability is lacking in this lifetime, essentially. I was going to say in this season, in this era, but accountability is lacking and it's paramount to success and sound living. It really is. And so the circle of friends is one of my favorite topics to speak on. And I came up with this. This one is actually sort of kind of, well, I got to figure out how to talk about this one because this is a personal story that involves me, but the other person would rather me not tell the story uh, the way it happened, if that makes sense. So, oh, whatever we're doing anyway. So this is called Circle of Friends, and this I'll call this the story of she. That's what we'll call it. I won't say her name, but the story of she. The story of she. She happens to be my niece. But I have several, so you don't know which one it is. Only people know that they were there, or if you tell it. But the story of she. Um, I talked to you guys a lot about me being the youngest and the only boy, and all of my sisters being in the medical field, and then you got me, the barber. But my niece, she graduated high school, and she, like the year she graduated, started talking about she was going to be a doctor, and I was like, wow, that's deep, but for what, you know? And she said that she was going to be a doctor. That's what she wanted to do. And I was like, hmm, interesting. I said, okay, well, why? That's one of the most important questions that an individual can ask you. So be prepared to answer that question about whatever it is. Why? And so I asked her why. And she said, it was what she wanted to do. And so my why went from why to why now. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I said, why you want to be a doctor? And why now? You never said that before. I've never heard you say that before. And I mean, kind of been here, the whole time you've been here, we're not that many years apart, but why, why now? And she couldn't really answer that question. The only thing that she could say was, well, Auntie is dot dot dot, and my mama is dot dot dot, and my other auntie is dot dot dot. I was like, interesting. Okay, so this is the thing. Graduates high school, goes to college, and let me roll that back. She graduated high school at the top of her class. She did do that. She graduated at the top of her class. I think with straight A's, I believe. But she starts the process of applying for colleges. And I mean, like this is 12th grade, and you graduated. Now you're applying for college, but you want to be a doctor. Interesting. Okay, so we have the entire family, our immediate family, basically, huddling around her, showering her with love and encouragement, and you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Go ahead, baby. I believe in you. Watch God work. All that, right? Now, none of that stuff they said was false. It's all true because she can do it. She really can be whoever she wants to be however she wants to be, and be whatever she wants to be. All those are hardcore, stone cold facts. They're true. But there's a difference between the truth of a thing and the reality of a thing. Right? There's a difference. Now, is it true that you can be this? Yes. In reality, are you really going to be this? The answer is no. So, I said, you're not going to be a doctor. You're not going to be a doctor. And everybody look, I mean, they clutching pearls, grasping for air. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to that girl. How you supposed to be her uncle and you gonna tell that baby that? Because I'm her uncle and I love her. So I'm gonna tell her the truth. That's what I did. You're not gonna be a doctor. You're not. I said, you need to sit down and figure out exactly what it is you want to do and do that. Being a doctor sounds good. People around you are in the medical field. You're now contending with the same thing that I did. You ain't even been a doctor. What do you want to do? And she was adamant about it. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. So I said, okay. Now, we got to figure out who's in your circle. How's your circle of friends? What does that look like for you? Now, so there are three calibers of individuals that every circle of friends should have. So I don't care if your circle of friends consists of actual family members, people you share the same blood with. They can be your siblings, your actual parents, whatever, cousins. Your circle of friends could be your coworkers, your bandmates, your classmates, your workout partners at the gym. Your circle of friends could be anybody, but your circle of friends should consist of three types of people. Number one, every circle of friends, everybody should have this individual in their circle of friends. This individual is what I call a fan. Everybody deserves a fan. Everyone should have a fan in their circle of friends. Everybody. Now, the fan is great. The fan loves you unconditionally. The fan will never stop loving you. When I say fan, think of any member of the Beehive. Say something about Beyonce if you want to. Okay? Fan. Everyone should have a fan in their circle of friends. The fan loves you unconditionally. The fan will support you unconditionally. The fan is great for moral support because the will, the drive, the tenacity, the ambition, it will waver. Sometimes it dies. But the fan is great because they come back and they remind you that you can do it because I believe in you. I support you. If you have no one else in this world, you got me. I love you. I'm going to rock with you to the end. Oh, but that fan. Fans are often two-faced. And it's not because they're a bad person or they're malicious or they say one thing and do another. The fan has two sides. And it's not the fan's fault. It has nothing to do with the fan. It's all you. They love you too much. The fan does not know when to tell you no. You can do no wrong in the fan's eyes. Because that fan loves you so much, they will push you over the cliff because they believe you can fly. So you have to know where and when to place the fan in your life. Now, for those of you who may be having a little bit of time, understanding what I mean, I want to bring this into perspective for you. Let's take the natural. Well, we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. I get there later on. We'll get there later on. Let's skip down from the fan to the next one. This next fixture is imperative, is paramount in your circle of friends. It's the critic. Every circle of friends should have a critic. You have your fan, you have your critic. Most people often run from the critic. They cannot stand a critical person. I love this guy. I have a friend named, ironically, his name is Chris. Chris Critic. It might be something in that, but his name is Chris. The fan loves you too much. The critic never considers love. Doesn't mean they don't love you, but they never consider love. Black and white. That's the critic. Critic. The thing about the critic is a lot of people don't consider is your critic is often a critical thinker. They're extremely analytic. So they've seen every side. They've researched it. They looked at it. Now, back to Chris. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a visionary. I'm an innovator. Things come to me all the time. I have wheels turning in my head. I got spinners going right now. Like 24s for real. We back in the 2000 now. But Chris, anytime I have an idea, a vision, a concept that I'm thinking I want to bring to fruition, Chris is one of the first people I run it by. Chris is such a critical individual. Sometimes it frustrates me and it aggravates my nerves because you can give him something that's ironclad, it's full and bulletproof. He's going to find a hole in it. And if he don't find a hole, he's going to poke a hole in it. That's Chris. But Chris is necessary because Chris keeps me from looking like a fool when I go out there. Sometimes when you're passionate about a thing, you don't think a thing all the way through. Jeremiah 17:9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things, who would know it? So you have something that you're so passionate about, it just flows through your veins. It's in your essence, but sometimes you don't have time to really think it through. Do the proper research or step back. Too close to the mirror, can't see the forest from them doggone trees. But Chris is my critic. And he helps me stay straight. He keeps me from looking like a fool. Critic is a root word or a subword, if you will, of criticism. A lot of people can't take constructive criticism. But criticism is the greatest oxymoron of them all. Because truth lies there. Listen to what I'm saying. Let me say it again. In criticism, you have to embrace the criticism. Embrace it. Because in criticism, truth lies there. And your critic is where you will find your truth. The fan loves you too much to be honest with you. No, that dress ain't too tight. Your hair looks so good. My mama did it to me when I did my first haircut with a Bic razor. She told me how good my hair looked. And it looked terrible. It looked terrible. My mama told me my haircut looked good. She's a fan. She was a fan then, and she's still a fan now. So you have to be careful with that fan, with that critic. All them sixth graders when I got to Paul Knox Middle School. Lord Jesus. But those sixth graders, they might have been more of the last, which we're going to get to that next. And that is the a-hole. So you got your fan, your critic, and the a-hole. But for the Christians on the line, because I love me some Jesus myself. I'm saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. Yes, Lord. But for the Christian on the line, we'll change that a-hole to an antagonist. That's better? Right. So we got the fan, we have the critic, and we have the antagonist. The antagonist. This individual is just as vital to the circle as the other two components because they can't be won. They can't be bought and they cannot be pleased. The antagonist. This is the thing about them. So many people, they don't just shy away from the antagonist. They run from him. They give him the middle finger on the way out the door. They are backing out with two guns, shooting him because they want him dead and gone. The antagonist. But his role is just as important as the others. Because he's so hard to please, virtually impossible to please. If you set your mind or set your goal to win that antagonist, absolute worst case scenario, you guarantee the fan and the critic. You guarantee the masses. Because that 1%, that top tier, that is very difficult to reach, if you at least set your goal to get to him, you at least get everybody up under him. They are the masses. They're the 99%. So why not go for the goal? Going for the goal, you guarantee the silver and the bronze. One of the two, if not both. So you have your fan, you have your critic, and you have your antagonist. Now, for those of you who at this juncture still, may not get it, may not grasp it, it don't make sense to me. He just made that up. I'm going to bring it into perspective for you. Let's take the family, okay? We all have a family. Let's take the family. Now, with your family, you have a grandparent or your grandparents. You have your grandma, grandpa, abuela, abuelo. You have those. You have your parents. And you have your siblings. Sibs, as they call them nowadays. They shortening everything. But you have your grandparents, you have your parents, and you have your siblings. Now, who do you think belongs where? Who do you think is who? You have a fan, you have a critic, and you have an antagonist. Who goes where? Who goes where? Of course, your grandparents are going to be your fans. They're trying to protect you from your parents anyway. Don't beat my baby. Your grandparents are going to be the fan. But there again, you have to be careful with your grandparents. They love you too much. Your parents don't want you to have the sugar because you've already had too much sugar before you got there. Your parents are going to be your critic because they see where you are. And your siblings, oh God, your siblings are going to be your antagonists. And if you're blessed, if you're in a really great space, you have one person that has all those qualities, all those attributes, if you're lucky. So, circle of friends. What's your circle of friends look like? Who's in your circle? Who's your fan? Who's your critic? Who is your antagonist? So, where do you fit? Are you a fan? Are you a critic? Or are you an antagonist? Are you a combination of all three? Where do you plug in? Where do you plug in? So, that's actually our challenge for today. Are you a fan, a critic, or an antagonist? Are you one of those three? If not, figure out where you belong and to ensure that you have those in your circle of friends. If not, set them up, strategize them, and structure them. It's called accountability systems. Have people in place to keep you on your toes. I have plans for this year that I have to accomplish. And I need people to help me get them done. Keep me on my toes. Keep me accountable and responsible to me. Rich Perspectives. 2018. We out.